Did you know that this movie pays tribute to the classic musical movies from 1960s Hollywood, including the Rat Pack era of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford, Angie Dickinson, and Sammy Davis Jr. So Joker Folie Deux was in the top 5 for my most anticipated movies of this year. And I have to say, after seeing this movie last night, it was a little bit of a letdown. I'll be honest. I do have a lot of great things to say about this movie, but there are a lot of things in this movie that I have to talk about. But I'm going to get into the good things first and save the bad stuff, the stuff that I wish was better, for the end. The first thing I loved about this movie was the performances. Joaquin Phoenix brings back his caliber acting as Arthur Fleck. Once again, he just turns on that just method acting that he's done. He's just so good at. It's been 5 years since Joker first came out. He's got like that charm that he brings back to the big screen. And then we got Lady Gaga, who I was pretty interested to see her portrayal of Harley Quinn. I thought this Harley Quinn was very, very different, very mellow, but there were very, very subtle, detections of manipulation. Like, she showed Harley Quinn here and there, but it wasn't the crazy Harley Quinn that we're used to. It was a very different kind. But I love Lady Gaga. I might be a little biased, but I really love her music. And I think she's actually a really great actress too. I think she's really good at taking on darker roles. She was in American Horror Story a lot, so that's where she really just like building up her acting chops with darker characters, more disturbed individuals. That's mainly, I think, why they made this movie a musical, was because Lady Gaga was in it and she was going to bring the heat. She was going to bring just her extreme talent to the screen. I like the fact that she also went the method acting route as well. Hats off to both Joaquin and Lady Gaga because they nailed the performances. Second thing I liked about this movie was the cinematography, and the sets in this movie were beautiful. I knew that the cinematography would not disappoint at all. Like, if you really pay attention to movies, you can really pick up on a lot of extra detail, a lot of extra depth by the use of colors, combination of colors, a lot of teal, a lot of orange, put them together. You got basically two opposite forces coming together, and there were some really great shots of that. And then just very dark lighting, very, very dramatic lighting, very just, it was meant to be musical based, so all these big spotlights, and like I said, the sets were incredible. I don't think this movie's going to win as many awards as the first one did, but I think it will win an award for either cinematography or the set design because it was next level. And the last thing I liked about this movie was I was not opposed to it being a musical. That may sound crazy. I have a secret love for musicals, and I really liked the style of musicals that they chose to go. In this movie, it was very 1960s Hollywood, very old school, very emotional, very in-your-face songs, very dramatic songs, and I love that. Like, I think that helped get the point across a lot. Like I said, I think it's a very interesting choice to make this movie a musical. Maybe not the smartest choice, but an interesting choice nonetheless. And I was there for it. I'm not judging it. I know a lot of people, the second they heard it was a musical, they were done. Like, they're out. They didn't want anything to do with it. So here's the things I didn't like. I felt like the pacing was here and there. It was a little long, but then the musical aspect, as much as I liked the musical aspect, I felt like the musical aspect actually threw the pace off a lot. It was pretty subtle here and there, but then as we got near the end of the movie, I'd say the middle to the end of the movie, it was like musicals like left, right, like all over the place, and then the pacing was just thrown off, the story was thrown off, there wasn't really action going on, there wasn't really anything going on. It seemed like the musical side started to become filler stuff because they ran out of material. And I gotta say, compared to the first Joker movie, I felt like they nerfed Arthur Fleck. A good amount of the movie, we got the Arthur Fleck that was in the first Joker movie, but during the trial, near the end, they completely just like threw the whole development of Arthur Fleck out the window, and he looked like a wimp. He was just a wimp. Like, it was pathetic, honestly. Like, I can understand why Harley was pissed at him during that trial because, she went all in for him, right? And he ends up just folding. That just rubbed me the wrong way. And the last thing that really just messed me up, confused me beyond all doubt, was what they ended up doing with Arthur in the movie. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about what happened, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, just skip over this part, but I have to talk about it. So the decision to kill off Arthur Fleck, I think, was a very big mistake, a very bad decision made for this movie. Basically, he's killed off by someone who may become the next Joker, but I just don't understand it. I was left so confused. I was shocked. Like, I was trying to process what just happened because I had heard that this movie was very divisive. Like, I had heard a lot of people had stuff to say, and now I understand why people are talking about this movie. Killing off the Joker like that, I don't see it. I don't get it. But to make myself feel a little better, maybe for you guys to give you a little more context, I looked into this because I was so confused by what just happened. And apparently this movie is under the DC Elseworlds banner, so this Joker is a completely separate Joker from all the other Jokers that we've met so far. They're all in their own little universes. Overall, it's like the DC universe. But this Joker is in his own universe. It's an alternate reality. So I guess in one reality, the Joker doesn't make it out. He gets killed by another inmate. And I also looked this up. You know, what happens to the Joker in the comics, I'm not super familiar with that, but Batman ends up killing the Joker in the comics. So we got this decision here that makes me feel not as mad about it, but at the same time, 5 years, and this is what you decide to do with the Joker. I don't know, that decision in this movie may be the difference between this movie making a lot of money and this movie making not as much money. We shall see. So with all that being said, I would recommend that you do check this movie out. If you love the Joker, if you love Lady Gaga, I highly recommend to see it because you're going to love that side of it. So for Joker, Folie, Deux, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. And remember to leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below. Do you think this movie will do well at the box office? See you next time.